I want to make sure I didn't break any laws. So I engaged a local attorney who advised me about the federal law as well as the Georgia state law. I shared photos that were readily available online. I did not commit revenge porn. I shared a publicly available photo that was accessible online. If I showed Kim Kardashian's sex tape right now, is that revenge porn? It's not. And then while we're talking about that, I've already said it was wrong. I should not have done it at my salon, this beautiful salon that I've worked so hard for, that I spent a lot of money on, that money that could have been spent in other areas, including supporting my child. So yes, I am very sorry that I shared the photos because it wasn't right, but I did not break the law. And I'm very sorry for what I did. So in the comfort of my own home, I was joking around with my bestie, which I always do, my very best friend, Brandon DeShazer. We were having a dispute on the show with Phaedra, and I was in my closet and I brought out one of my firearms, and I'm like, oh, do I have to use this on Phaedra tonight? Giggling, ha, 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 he. Phaedra was not around, nowhere to be present. Phaedra never saw it. I never said it in any threatening way. I was not upset. You cannot compare apples to oranges. If you want to do that, does Phaedra sitting on the reunion couch with her taser ready for me count? Okay, moving on. Tell us.
It's the thuggish, raggish bone. 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 We are here gathered today to have a talk, all right, about Bristol Bone Thugs and Harmony Eady, aka Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. We are here to have a conversation. I don't even know what to say. Okay? When I tell you so much was happening yesterday, from the DDG and Hallie to Trump and Elania going at it, like it's been a lot. Okay? You guys have really been showing your ass for the 99s and 2000s. 2000s to 25 to be exact. Okay? Not to mention the seating chart dropped. Right? It's just been so much happening. And we're gonna try to talk about it, okay? We're here just to talk about Real Housewives and Bone Thugs and Harmony. But you know, all the other stuff we'll get to at a later time. We're just really here for Housewives, okay? So let me see. I really don't even know where to start, you guys, okay? But we are gonna start with Bone Thugs and Harmony, aka Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, and Kenya Moore. So, and it's kind of out of order because at first the seating chart was dropped and everybody was in an uproar about the seating chart, right? We learned that Miss Bristol will not be there, and that, you know, led to some other things, right? So I want to get into what Kenya Moore had to say first. Okay. So Kenya says this out the gate: I'm disappointed to not be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta 16 reunion taping today. Please know I take full accountability for my actions and deeply apologize to all those affected, including Brittney, the cast, crew, guests, and viewers. I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. Okay, so that is what Kenya had to say, and it left a lot of us to believe that Kenya Moore is not technically going anywhere. Whew. It would be nice if Kenya was there. I think that is sad, and it's crazy that the people that made the show the most controversial this season will not be a part of said reunion. Okay, it was stated that Bitty Bitty Bum Bum made a decision on her own to not show up to this reunion, although Miss Moore was the one that was not invited, or at least she was invited and then disinvited. Okay, they snatched that back, like they pretty much snatched back the peach and gave it over to Phaedra Parks. Okay, so it has just been a mess. Okay, it's been a mess. There's been so much conversation. I feel like we got a lot to get into, and I'm not even trying to use up all my time because I got so much I gotta do today. You feel what I'm saying, girl? It's so much going on. Like, it's so whack. 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 Okay. What else I want to get into? So we got into Kenya Moore. We talked about, I ran her video back for you guys so y'all can hear what she said. She said she did not engage in any RP. That's what she said. All right. Kenya gave her statement. She hates that she's not going to be a part of this reunion with everybody, right? Before we move any further, I have to say thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Y'all could be anywhere else. You guys have already gotten the details from someone else, but you chose to be here with me this morning. Thoroughly appreciate you guys. Please make sure that when you're coming in, you are liking the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I definitely appreciate the support, okay? So then, Kenya puts her statement out. Shortly after that, we get a statement from Miss Eady. Let me get that on the screen for you guys here. When I tell y'all, I had to read this like probably 5 times. It's like, girl, what the hell is going on? Okay, it's really giving. Let me walk down to the Bravo Studios, knock on the door. Hello, is anyone in there? Are you guys okay? What the is happening? Bristol comes to the front and says this, guys. As everyone is now aware, I'm not attending the reunion. This was my decision. The events of this season have devastated me. While I can't say much right now, ma'am, not you telling us while I can't say much right now, excuse me, but proceed to continue to tell us much right now is crazy. One thing about Brit, I have to say, one of the reasons you flopped this season was because of how contradictory you are and how much of a liar you are. Very disappointing, and it's crazy, and it really grinds my gears when I sit around and hear so many people talk about Sidora being the liar, but when it's time to pull receipts, all you really can prove is oh, she said Michael Jordan was her cousin. Okay. And Porsha said she didn't get with that man when they was married. So what else is going on? Let y'all tell it, right? Whole time Miss Ma'am played in y'all face, and then when the people was really finna come at her with that energy, i.e. Angela and Drew, right? She would flip it like she's the victim and then they would be the problem. Whole time the problem was you. And you know what I have to say, Miss Eady, I don't think the problem was you by yourself. I do feel like some producers enabled that behavior. And when you come out with this statement letting us know what it is, and I don't even know what to believe is true because I feel like you've lied. So I don't know if you're lying now or you lied then. My question is, when y'all got Phaedra up off the show, it was alleged that y'all got a producer up off the show, although that producer says that he left. Okay. Now, I don't know if it was I left because I had to leave or I left because I chose to leave, but whatever it was, it seemed to me that at that time a producer got up off the table. So what producer y'all finna get up off the table while y'all get this woman up off the table? And you know what I have to laugh at so fucking hard about? The fact that people came to the front and tried to say, oh, Brit, well, she had the attorneys, she had some bulldogs, her attorneys did not play, they really came down to the Bravo and they got on their head top and they made them get Kia up out the way because her attorneys was not playing that because she really got some good attorneys and her attorneys are fine and her attorneys did this and her attorneys are that, attorneys this, attorneys that, attorneys everything. Whole time, she could barely afford an event coordinator, let alone a planner. Who is these attorneys you speak of? I am confusion. I have to cackle. I mean, does she have Drew's attorney? Okay, because I don't think Drew's attorney is that amazing. I'm sure she's great with entertainment law, doing contracts and stuff. But girl, when it comes to this divorce, it's a little shaky for me. It's a little shaky. Okay, so who is these? Don't send me no letter. Don't send me don't send me nothing for me to know who you is, girl. Okay, I'm just saying. Go over there on your Twitter page and tweet out or so we know who you talk. Who is these bulldog? Who is these attorneys that you talk about? Okay? Because it sounded to me, Kenya Moore was the one with the attorneys. For you to come to us with the statement. Because the way, I don't even know if moonwalk is the best word. I don't even know if backtrack is the best word. I don't even know if Uno reverse is the best words. Like, girl, it's giving literally Homer Simpson fading into the bushes. That's what this kind of gave. It's like real, like, what the fuck? So let's keep going. All right. She goes on to say, this was my decision. The events of this season have devastated me. And while I cannot say much right now, I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic is the actual photo surrounding the events in episode 5. Space, 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 space. That photo was not me. So this is when everybody begins to look under the bed, under the covers, okay? Look into the DMs, do a Google search, go outside, see if anybody was at the door. Because who was that? If it was not you, then who was it? Because everybody at that point was confused. I know I was. Then goes on, space, 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 space. And says, as the episode makes clear, I did not see the photo at the time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event. And based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me. Now, granted, let me say this. That is kind of how it played out, right? She didn't see it. The first person to walk out was Kelly. Kelly was the first person to, I'm sure, tell her what happened. We heard the ad lib of Miss Cynthia Bailey. Don't nobody want to see nobody zik. Don't nobody want to see nobody with a zik in their mouth. Don't nobody want to see a zicky with really want to suck a zik. That's what Cynthia Bailey said. So we all was like, huh? Like, what's what? Now, I do remember a photo going around last year, and it had a clip art of like an eggplant on top of it on a TV screen. But when we see Kenya's event, we don't necessarily see a TV screen. So I wasn't sure if that was her event or what. So I don't know. Right? And I still don't know what to make of it. I don't know because, of course, what Kenya says was that she did not distribute any RP. And then she also goes on to say maybe she was, not maybe, but she did admit that she was wrong for what she did and putting up photos at her event. So when Kenya says photos, now I'm like, when you say photos, are you talking about the photos that you found of her with the face then versus the face now? The photos that you found of her, as far as her being on an escort website, are those the things, but not necessarily the zik in the mouth? Is what I'm confused about, right? This is crazy, y'all. This is insane to me. So then goes on to say, and based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. And girl, you overreacted in the way that you did. Just a little piece, right? Granted, bravo, y'all said y'all did an investigation, and we already knew that y'all didn't. We already knew that y'all didn't. When y'all sat up there and said y'all investigated and talked to Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, and y'all pretty much asked like, you had a pill? Did you have a pistol on you? Did you pull it out? What you did? Oh, okay, cool. And y'all actually sat up there because I remember the articles in page 6 where y'all lied and said that no such thing happened. Right? Nobody pulled out anything on Kenya, right? So basically, y'all producers need to get y'all shit together. Y'all need to get in on one band, one sound is what it needs to give. Okay, and y'all need to really let it be one producer that's over here giving sound bites or whatever to these publications. Okay, to these blogs, whatever. It needs to be one because y'all are not all on the same page. Your bias is showing. Okay, but I can't trip because I am the bias queen. That's on P. However, I remember y'all lying about that, saying that that didn't happen. Then came back and said y'all did an investigation and Brit didn't have anything on her at the time or whatever the case was. But if you really did an investigation also and investigated Kenya, you would have likely saw that the photo was not of Miss Eady. And y'all allowed this woman, especially if this is true, okay? Especially if this is true. And let's be very clear. I'm not saying that Kenya should not have been, you know what, fuck that. I am saying Kenya shouldn't be suspended. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you all talking about, actually. Let's be clear. Because whatever images was out there that Kenya showed at her job, they was already out there. Okay? Anybody could have pulled it up. And they have done worse on other shows, and those people have not been suspended. So you can have your argument down in the comments, and you can even go over to my tweet and argue. And I'm probably not gonna respond to you no way. But carry on. You feel how you feel. I'm gonna feel how I feel. And what else is going on? Okay. But y'all sat up there, did the supposed investigation, and y'all didn't even tell this lady what the hell was going on. Y'all didn't even tell her that it wasn't her. Y'all just went off her emotions and let her ride that train. And then this is why I can't have no sympathy, because, ma'am, you literally rode this motherfucking train for a whole year, bitch. You literally sat up there, went and did interviews and stuff, said whatever you had to say, felt the way about Kenya. She did all of that apologizing, and she still never did it to me. Then you sat up there, played in your cast member's face, sitting up there talking about well, I'm about to lose my license because of this. And then when somebody question you about it because you're not making sense, then you want to sit up there and get offended and try and chop her head off. What is going on? Girl, where is my video? Where is it? Because I just have to cue it. Where is it? And let me make sure this thing don't cut off once I cue it. Because, girl, this is what it's giving for me.
Fraud! You're fraud! Fraud! You're fraud!
You're fraud. You're fraud. You're fraud. You're fraud. That's what it's giving, fraud. It's giving I bit off more than I can chew coming on this reality show. And here's the thing, though, Brit. Let me be very clear about this as well. My thing is, I don't really care about your past for real, and the things that you may have done, because I feel like everybody got one. But when you don't really own your shit, step into your shit, I think that was the problem. You continue to play yourself out to be a victim and a woe is me, because you at the time, who's not new to reality, you're new to reality, but you're not a vet to this and you don't know how this works. You assumed, in my opinion, that would get the fans on your side. You know what I'm saying? You thought the fans were going to be like, oh my God, oh, Kenya. Yeah, the people that don't like Kenya was going to say what they need to say. Yeah, the Kenya. And what's crazy, though, although y'all may see people in the comments at times, on social media, not really my page, but just like social media in general, and people are like trying to drag Kenya or whatever. Honestly, Kenya actually has way more support. It's people that also did not like Kenya that has sided with Kenya because Miss Eady makes it so easy for that. You know what I'm saying? But Bravo, I feel like you fraud too. I do. I feel like you fraud too. Because my thing is also, people are like, well, if Kenya did whatever she did, like, she deserved to get suspended. It's just like any other regular job. You can't go on your job and do stuff like that and think that you're not going to get suspended. But what I'm saying is, if the investigation took place, then, and you saw that it wasn't her, why was she still suspended? That's not nice. My thing is, when you've allowed so much behavior in the past, and then once Kenya does what she does, now all of a sudden you want to suspend her. It's not a person in this world that can't make me think that this wasn't about money. I do personally feel like, especially with the way shows are getting canceled left and right and stuff, I feel like personally for me, this was about money. And I think they're probably trying to reset some things, right? So when you're suspended and sat down, she may have gotten maybe a portion of her money, maybe not all. Maybe her contract was, I get paid so much for certain episodes. And being that she's not going to be in the rest of the episodes, maybe she doesn't get that money, but she's still in contract with them or whatever. But I feel like she was probably the highest paid. They sat her down. So now that she's in that vulnerable position, when she comes back, if she wants to be on this show, when we present what we present to you, you're likely going to take the offer that we give you. Because now you're trying to get back into our good graces. And it's going to be easier for us to let you know, like, hey, we ain't going to be able to give you, the $1 million or the 500,000, and we are doing some budget cuts, and because of what happened last year, like, we'll be willing to do 300,000. And matter of fact, we'll give you the 300, and then with that, we'll make sure that we film more stuff in your salon. You know what I'm saying? Should she return? And we'll talk about that too. But yeah, for me, I just feel like it was about money. I feel like they used Bone Thugs and Harmony to kind of get her, or I'm not gonna say they used her, but I feel like they used her situation to get Kenya in a compromising position, because the head honcho Candy was not returning. They freed up the budget when Candy said she's not coming back. Who's next in line? Because I don't care how much of a pedestal and how high y'all raise Porsha, it's not that. Miss Ma'am left the show for about 2 years or so, and if you think you're gonna come back and get the same coin you was getting in, and the economy has changed since, DEAD. And at this point, with you being desperate because now you're getting a divorce from this man and you no longer getting the stipend that you once was getting, right? You're gonna take whatever they could give you. Maybe not whatever, but enough to sustain the lifestyle, but it's likely not going to be as much. So now, who's the highest paid? Kenya Moore. For me, it was about the money, and they used this situation, like I said, to put her in a position. So should she return, she gonna take what they trying to give. Thank you so much, Caribbean gal. Good morning, everybody. Please make sure as you're coming into the video, you're liking up the video. If we could get more likes, I be liking the likes to match, and I understand everybody's not gonna like. Some people just like to consume the content, and they may want you to work a little harder for them likes, and I get it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But if you are enjoying yourself, okay, you find yourself coming back to the content multiple times, please be sure to just do me a little favor. It is free. Now, see, I ain't sit up here and ask y'all for no coin, and I ain't saying nothing wrong with people asking either. I'm just telling you what I have not done yet. Okay, now if you want to bless the cash out, girl, everything is JamiThatsMe here. However, okay, just tap. It's right there. It's available for y'all right up under the screen. Just hit that for me. Thank you so much. I love you guys. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Let's see what else Miss Eady had to say here. She says it was not a photo. Somehow it wasn't a girl. Let me go back, because this bitch say somehow assumed that it was somehow a photo of me. Okay, I get kind of why she may have assumed, because of what a lot of people that were there may have said. It didn't even have to be a lot of people, right? It was the reactions of the housewives. And see, that's where I am a bit confused, because the reactions were so big. If this was like that wasn't a photo of me, it was somebody else, and it was so big, maybe they were disgusted, because it's like, damn, you doing all of this one at your event, then you trying to drag her, but then you showing somebody else's face with like you went that far. Like, was it an AI pic? Like, what was it? Like, maybe they overreacted because of that. You use somebody else's image with a zick in their mouth, right? Maybe. And I just find it so funny when I hear some of the well, it's not really a lot of new ones, but I am thinking about Porsha when she felt like she was so appalled of what Kenya did, but you was also a part of telling lies on Candy. Like, are y'all okay? People be killing me with stuff like that, where they act like they're up here with it, and you're really just human. But because you're on TV, we're gonna eat you up anyway. But it's like you be acting like you up here with yours, but you ain't no better. For real, right? Anywho, she goes on to say, I do not know who was in that photo. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Wait a motherfucking minute. You know what? Hold on. Because you said you didn't know who was in that photo, right? Well, why you had came to the ma'am, you're a liar. Ma'am, you're a liar, ma'am. Ma'am, you're a liar. You're a liar, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. You lie. And men lie, women lie. Social media doesn't necessarily always lie if they have a screenshot. And numbers don't necessarily either. But that's crazy. Cause somebody's a liar. Can we go back? Where's my flashback? So This was a back and forth between Ming Lee and Brittney Eady back in April. Okay, so Ming says, I wasn't drunk. She says what I said verbatim was, because this was when Brit tried to say that Ming had a conversation with her when they were down in Miami. Matter of fact, let's get to that first. At the bottom it says, internet didn't tell Kenya anything. Where is it all over the internet? I believe this could have been right after we got into Kenya's video, where Kenya sat up there and said, oh, you know, I got this from the internet, the videos, the pictures, whatever were available online, right? So then now, and y'all got to understand, there were more photos that were shown aside from just the, I got to tell my mom about sucking Zick. Yeah, they played that in the previews, but didn't play it on the show. However, that's what was supposedly shown, but of course, Kenya also had other photos. So now I'm questioning what photos y'all talking about then. Okay, so then she says internet didn't tell Kenya anything, because where is it all over the internet? Ming told me herself in a drunken night at an event in Miami for a whole hour. She had saved explicit images of me in her phone, saved for a rainy day. Very weird to admit. She ain't innocent either. Can't help we dated the same people. So then not only was you over here trying to play victim to Kenya, but you came over here to Ming Lee. You was giving all this energy to Ming Lee, and then you mean to come back and tell us that shit ain't even real? I ought to kick your fake, like right now. What she said? I ought to kick your fake Maya Angelou ass right now. I paid $14 for this book. But a matter of fact, I think I paid about $14.99 for Peacock. No commercials. Maybe $13.99. Okay? And you done brought your ass down here playing in the people's face. I ought to kick your fake ass right now. You mean to tell me it ain't even real? Girl, what's going on, baby? What is going on? You just tried to pass it off to me. Porsha tried to sit up there on her video and say that it was a housewife that gave the information. People started thinking it was Drew. Kenya had to say it wasn't Drew. Next thing you know, we got Ming Lee. Ming Lee ain't no housewife. She a basketball wife. So what are we doing? You still sitting up here playing victim. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let's get back. Let me get back to this lady's message. So then she goes on to say, I reacted in the way that I did. She says, I do not know who was in that photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently. Bravo executives, truly original. Come to the front, please. Bravo, truly original. Come to the front, please. What investigation you talking about, baby? Because either y'all lying, she lying, or everybody lying. Because this woman says that she recently saw the photos for the first time. What don't raise your hand, because I'm not. No, it's time to listen. What investigation did y'all do at that time that she is just now seeing the photos for the first time? And y'all let her run with this, just run with it. Where was the cameraman? Where was he at? The ones that was in there that was filming everything. Did y'all not see the tapes to know what was going on? What was it? No, I don't give a damn. Don't get in my comments. Well, you can't get in my comments. You do what you want to do, girl. Do what you gonna do, okay? But let me say this. I don't want to hear that Bravo was sick of Kenya anyway, and she's rude to production, and she does this and she does that. Let me tell you why I don't give a damn, okay? Because if that's how you feel, you still continue to bring her back. You don't like her, but you continue to bring her back. You try to get her out and realize you still need her. Insane. I don't care about that. Well, that's probably why they suspended her, because she's been real disrespectful with the staff and she's been doing this and that. Why you keep bringing her back then? So, I don't care nothing about it. It didn't work. It didn't work. So then she says, she sees the photo, but upon seeing it for the first time, I now know it was not me. You actually had some people out here windmilling for you, actually. You had some people that were out here windmilling for you, and you let them down. You let them down. Some of those people were very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. And it's sad because if it was you, I can't give cool points in my personal, for me, especially not at your event, right? I feel like there was another way to pass that around or whatever, right? But if it wasn't you, it's like we just don't know what to believe because you've lied a lot. And I don't think you thought that social media was going to dig as deep as they did. It's so disappointing. Like I'm cringing for you, love. I'm cringing for you. She says, I look forward to seeking accountability and moving past the dark part of my life. My question is, who are you seeking accountability from? Yourself? Because you're not showing up to the reunion. Do you mean seeking or facing? I'm confused. You can't be seeking accountability from Kenya Moore, who said on multiple occasions, especially for the people in the back that don't want to acknowledge the fact that this lady has apologized. I'm sorry that your hatred for her overshadows her actions. Okay? Because y'all also will pay attention to these actions, but not those actions. And those actions were, she went on the Tamron Hall show. She acknowledged it. She even did a video on her page that got more views on her YouTube than some of the episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and acknowledged it and apologized. Did it again. Matter of fact, I think she did it more than one time on social media. What else? What more do you want from me? What more do you guys want? So again, who are you seeking accountability from when it's been given? So is it your turn to face it? You were able to go an entire season, play victim, do whatever it is that you wanted to do, right? Act like you having such a damn hard time with everything. And that's really because you're not being honest. You ain't making money like you used to. And I understand because things are changing. You ain't got your insurance thing like you used to, right? So that's why you only showed up with the little toiletries that you did have. But just say that. Like, girl, you know I'm on hard times. Now, Porsha, she'll lie too. We all know Porsha is tough because she stopped working her jobs, right? She got a little bit of stipends from that man, and hopefully she saved up most of it, right? She got to pay her attorneys. Yes, she does. But to sit up there and act like you actually bought something at, Balmain, knowing that you didn't, girl, stop. But I do believe Porsha gave a donation to Grenada. That I do believe. Now, whether it was some of PJ stuff that she gave or whether it was even $1,000, I do believe that Porsha gave something. But when you came to the front and talk about saying, yeah, I got somebody that's coming later with boxes and stuff like that, and then you try to put it off in the confessional that Shamia was the one, girl, I have to cackle. That Shamia was the one that came to you last minute about it? How is it that she came to you at the last minute? If that's the case, she came to everybody at the last minute, but everybody was able to show up. But I will give her credit for this. She could have gave nothing. Because didn't Nene give nothing to the Detroit schools or whatever that Kenya was trying to get her to donate to, but Kenya did and Nene didn't. So Brit could have gave nothing, but she did give something. But you ain't got to come with I got somebody that's going to bring a lot more later. And don't duck the fade, because remember when Angela got in them comments and Angela was over there like, oh, this going to be a great reunion. Like, who you talking about, Brit? Because this going to be a great reunion. You say, yeah, it really is. Yeah, you knew it was going to be because your ass wasn't going to show up. That's what that was. Okay. And let me also flash back to something else while we at it, when we're talking about the photo, because it ain't giving RP no more, loves. It's really giving clip art. It's really giving copy and paste, just a little piece, okay? Because somebody had to send me this, and let me hop over here, and this is Alonzo Larion. I may say his last name wrong, but he's a really big YouTuber. Shout out to Alonzo. So somebody made this post back in March, and they said, did Brit just say, I still got a pistol? So Kenya was clearly telling the truth that Brit threatened her with a gun. I'm so confused as to why the producer said that it did not happen when the camera captured it, right? So then he said, how is it RP when that pic was clearly altered? He said, you saw it? Somebody said, you saw it? He said, yes. Ain't that something? Ben said that it was altered, and now we come into the front and what we see. Now, some people probably would have said he was lying, didn't want to believe him because you want to stick to your narrative. And I understand, because sometimes that's how we are until we get further information, right? So now you got the further information, and the gag is the information came from y'all girl. Y'all girl said that. She didn't say it was altered, but what she did say was that it wasn't her. Girl, we thought Love Island USA needed to vet the people. Girl. I don't know what y'all doing over there at Peacock. I don't know what they doing, but they need to do something. Okay, y'all need to get a vetting team. Okay, y'all need to get better vetting questions. All right, y'all might need to say, yo, is there anything in your past? Is there anything in your past that if social media dug it up, you will be embarrassed by it? What is it? And of course, they may not want to tell it to the producers because they may feel like the producers will use it against them. But I feel like it's better to let the producers use it against you than us, than the public. See, the producers could potentially shape a better narrative, or how they have put it up gives you a better opportunity to address it and clear it up or whatever on the show versus us. Okay, people digging it up and we run with whatever narratives, and then we're watching the show and the show is not aligning with the information that we're finding out about you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I need to ask better questions. Shout out to the people in the chat. You know, I have to do another roll call, another roll call for the people to like up the video. Oh, Joe. Was it Jakim? Jakim, I am not late. You is late. I'm not late because we didn't even get to Drew yet. See, I'm still on Brittney. I'm still on Brittney. We gonna get to Drew. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So y'all need to do a better job at what y'all doing. Now, what else I got over here that I wanted to get into? So that's what's going on with Miss Eady, honey. Lauren LaRosa, who works for the Breakfast Club, she also now has her own podcast, The Ladies with Lauren. She comes to the front. This is what she had to say last night. She says, a source close to Real Housewives of Atlanta production has confirmed to me that Kenya Moore is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, let me tell y'all something. I could have guessed that when Kenya said, I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. I'm laughing on the inside at some of the people that was in the comments under the tweet that I put up last night or yesterday. Girl, ain't that a little piece of a key? So can you put that up at like 1:40 something in the afternoon? And then Lauren came back that night at 11:30 and said this, all right? They said regarding her involvement on the show next season, Kenya made a statement today after not being able to film the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. She took accountability for her mess up that resulted in her suspension from the current season. Her statement today ended with, I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. She said she'll discuss more on the Breakfast Club and all. So I wouldn't be surprised if she is back. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if she is back. Girl, that's crazy. The way the fans have also been tearing into you, Miss Bone Thugs and Harmony, is crazy. It's crazy. I really want to stay on you for a little bit. I'm not going to hold you. Because BITCH, the way you got down to this show and played in our damn face that's shameful. And you know what else is crazy? The fact that you didn't have enough money or whatever. Or Shala, I don't know what you got in your account, but you ain't have enough plates for everybody to eat, and now you no longer finna eat because you're not finna come back. You're not finna eat off this show. Baby, she took that Real Housewives of Atlanta out her bio so quick. She snatched that back so quick, but she was so ready to let everybody know that she was on the show. She felt amazing getting a BIT up off the show. Girl, I wish I could have found that clip of that podcast that she did with her husband, making it seem like Kenya Moore was doing the most, and the whole time it was you. Whole time, ma'am, it was you. And if y'all mad about it, girl, be mad at your girl, bitty bitty bum bum. Okay, be mad at her. Because she made it easier for people to drag her and to support Kenya. So be mad at her. And I'm just calling out the obvious. And you still gonna watch. So hey girl. What's up? What's up? What's up, girls and guys? Anywho, let's see. I'm just trying to look at some of these articles over here. What Kenya told y'all a long time ago. What Kenya had said. Kenya said, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Back in June of 2024. I have always been vindicated. I can't talk about story even with people planting fake news. That's crazy. That's crazy. What did Edie also disputed? Let me go. What else Edie said? Did she say anything else? Where was it? Okay, let me go down here. Let me see. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever. Ain't that what you had said? Ever. Child, I've never been to jail in a fight or even had as much as a speeding ticket. That's not my character. I am hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Wrong is wrong. Is it? Is it? What she said? It's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone I thought would embrace me into a new circle that I never met. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever. I never even been to jail in a fight or even had as much as a speeding ticket. It's not my character. I'm hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Wrong is wrong. Y'all heard that, bravo? Wrong is wrong. So when you sat her ass out, you should have sat her ass out. Because wrong is wrong. Child, ain't that some tea? Girl, let's get into a little piece more over here. What else they got? What they said, this what Kenya said. Real Housewives of Atlanta star audio leak. You were paid. Brittney does There's an IG that put her emails out on blast. She charges $1,400 for an appointment. You not only a hoe, you a cheap hoe. You on covers of magazines being a thought. You all of those things. Okay. I'm just telling y'all what Kenya said, girl. Don't come get me. Don't send the bulldogs at me. Don't send the bulldogs to me, girl. Don't send them this way, honey. Oh, don't send them over here. You over here on Snapchat. Your Gotti was like, Snapchat me that. And you did. Huh. Wrong is wrong. Insane. Girl, ain't that some shit? What was it? What was it? A source close to production exclusively told Page 6 at no time was Kenya ever threatened with a weapon, nor was there ever a weapon present during the course of production. Child, did y'all not see y'all own beautiful bean footage? That's insane. That's insane. Okay. What else we got? Let's keep going. Oh yeah, this is when y'all had suspended Kenya. Y'all suspended her indefinitely over the poster. The poster scandal, cause scandal it was. Because what? Huh? Because your girl said that photo was not me. I'm just telling y'all what she said. Don't be mad at me, girl. I'm just reading what the lady said, okay? That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event and based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. I do not know who was in that photo. That's crazy. But upon seeing it for the first time recently, I now know it was not me. Whew. Well, I'm tired. Now, Bravo, y'all don't want me to hell down, girl. Y'all don't want me down. That's crazy, girl. That is crazy. You sat up here. It's even more crazier, y'all. Because we don't know. Hold on. We don't know if she's telling the truth or not. We don't know if she was telling the truth or not. That's crazy. Mm, 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 mm. Girl, you sat up here and done played in everybody's face. I don't know what to tell her. But good luck, should you come back and you, are a part of another reality show, just be honest. I wonder if she gonna have a sit down with Carlos. I can imagine how Carlos is blowing up her DMs right now, trying to have a conversation. Like, yeah, let's get you to tell your side. What are your thoughts about it? Matter of fact, somebody sent me this. Let me go find it. When they got into it for the first time over there on Carlos's page, I want to get to that reaction that somebody tagged me in. Yes. Okay, let's get to that real quick. Like, girl, this is crazy here. Whew.
Fixed sexual photo surrounding the events in episode 5. That photo was not me.
So Candiace,
Hold on. There's more, Claudia.
sorry.
There's one more. There's actually 2 more paragraphs. I'll repeat. I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic photo surrounding the events in episode 5, that photo was not me. As the episode makes clear, I did not see the photo at the time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event, and based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. I do not know who was in that photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently, I now know it was not me. I look forward to seeking accountability and moving past this dark part of my life.
Nah, hell no.
If I ain't
Hell
Dustin.
no, hell no, hell no. If that was not her on that picture,
Then who
what
is that hoe?
for real?
Who is that? Who was that? And more importantly, where is that? Where is that? Let us go ahead and tap into this reunion chart. Shout out to the people in the chat. Another roll call for you guys to make sure that you're hitting up the likes. All right, if we can get up to 500, that would be greatly appreciated. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. This is what they are presenting us with for Real Housewives. Sweet 16. Baby, the Sweet 16 has been a bit sour. It's giving sour. It is. Sour 16 is what it's giving. Just a little piece. And let's get into it. All right. So, to the right of Andy, we have veterans. Okay. That's been a part of the show for 5 years or more, I do believe. You have Porsha Williams, you have Phaedra Parks, and then you also have Cynthia Bailey. Okay. Who honestly is a friend of the show, and being that she had absolutely nothing going on this season, and being that she stayed so true to her being a friend of this show, she should not necessarily have a seat on this couch. No disrespect. It definitely is giving pop in, pop out. Okay? Just a little piece, all right? And I would feel away if I was maybe a Drew Sidora or even a Porsha Williams, to know that you're getting about the same amount as me or more, and you get to sit on the couch here? You didn't experience any of the dragging that took place this season. Who is this? Why is she here? Scoot down. Scoot down. Just a matter of fact, slide off the couch. Yeah, we'll call you when we need you. Thank you for your services. Okay? Yeah. Then we have Phaedra. Bravo. The disrespect that you guys played this season is insane. It is insane. Now, I do think, and I've said it before, Real Housewives of Atlanta is a better fit for Phaedra versus being with the Medicine Wives. Okay? This is a way better fit for her. However, to sit down one of your vets, and it appears to be for not much of a reason at all, when the ladies could have simply talked it out, and it's not like you guys showed us anything on the screen anyway, right? You guys could have really wiped away everything and we wouldn't have even known what really happened. But choices, because that's what we make. You guys decided to bring Miss Parks back, and all of her, girl, it's giving faded glory on the skin. Y'all remember how Walmart would sell the faded glory items, the clothing, and it literally would fade when you wash it? Phaedra, that's what the makeup was giving. And I'm going to have to tap on you just a little bit, okay? Because you don't bother me like you bother other folks, okay? Because the fans really get in the uproar when it comes to Phaedra. She don't bother me like that. But I am going to tap on you, girl. Because the way that you took that woman that passed away's foundation and put it on yourself is insane to me. It is, and then you had the audacity to sit up there at your elder age to talk about Angela Oakley looking older, but you about in your 50s trying to act like you a hot girl. That's I don't like that. You can be demure, you can be giving young, but you ain't got to give that. However, some of your looks be given, okay? Some of your looks be given. I like the Auburn wig you had on or whatever when you was on Medicine Wives, but I think that your makeup artist must have been, tied up, because you looked a mess in one of them confessionals for sure. Matter of fact, 2 of them. But anywho, you were able to come back, get a tagline towards the end of the season. Baby, y'all can discredit Phaedra all y'all want, but it's definitely giving some type of boss to be able to step up to Bravo, come in the last month of the season, get a tagline, be a part of the cast photos, holding a fucking peach is insane, and then get to sit next to Porsha Williams at the reunion ahead of women that have actually put in work for the show. Crazy. The negotiations that she was doing, insane. To walk off of another Bravo show, never turn around and return to that, literally caught a flight out from Married to Medicine show and flew her ass out to Grenada, is crazy. But I can't even be mad at you, because if you know how to play them, if you know how to, finesse, okay, she got you. She did her thing. Baby. And then you probably was willing to give it to her just so you could sock it to Kenya, potentially. Who knows, right? But that's what y'all did. But again, who is this? Can you slide down just a little bit for me? Yeah, just scoot down just a little bit. Okay, right there. Thank you. On the very end. Thank you for your services. On the left side of Andy, we have Shamia, Angela, Kelly, and Drew is the very last person. Now, there is something going on with Bravo and Drew. And at first I was thinking that, it must be because Drew is sitting up here advocating for Kenya. Next thing you know, that can't be it. Why? Because you have Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, aka Bone Thugs and Harmony Eady, that came out and said the photos and stuff wasn't even of her. So maybe Drew wasn't wrong when she said Kenya should be brought back, because she hasn't done much worse than a lot of other housewives that you're rolling out the red carpet for. So why would she be on the end? Is Drew making her way out as she recently signed a deal and she's elevating and acting in her music career, which is what she's wanted? I don't know. I don't know why they got her on the end like that. Now, let's go back up to the tree at the top. I expect Porsha to sit next to Andy exactly where she is sitting. I understand a lot of us may have felt like Porsha ain't bringing that to the show. Porsha wants to talk about that. I completely understand that. But as a veteran on this show and her being one of the first people they signed up to be a part of this show for this season, I understand why she's sitting there. Her storyline would have been a bigger draw had she been able to talk about it more. And I feel like she would have talked about it more if Simon was not in ICE. Because Simon was going to drag her on social media. He was ready for the season. He was going to drag her. And actually, I don't know who got Simon locked up, meaning I don't know who called down there for him to get snatched up or if he did it to himself, whatever. But Simon could have helped y'all season. And y'all don't have to like it, but that's what it is. I could have helped you out that pit you fell in. Okay? Based on the back and forth online, right? And that would have, I felt a lot of us fans were hard on Porsha because we felt like she didn't give. But if there was some banter, I feel like it would have filled up the space just a little bit and got people more in tune to the show or whatever the case. Like, it could have potentially helped, in my opinion. So yeah, that's Porsha. I expect her to sit there. Shamia, because of their idea and image of Shamia's wealth, I kind of expect her to sit there as well. And being that her friendship is on the outs with one of the big stars of the show, I kind of expect Shamia to sit there. However, if Shamia did not sit there and Drew sat there, I will understand that too, because of the fact that Drew's storyline was, or at least Porsha, heavily intertwined Drew into her storyline. That is why I feel like Drew could have moved and slid up at the top and sat right next to Shamia. Okay? Closer to Andy. I think it should have been... Yeah, I do. I think it should have been Porsha, Drew, Angela, Oakley, and my personal, Kelly. Then I think it should have been... Hold on, let me go back. Porsha, Drew, Angela next to Porsha. Then I probably would have put Kelly next to Drew. Yeah, I would have put Kelly next to Drew. Then I would have put Phaedra on that end. And then put Cynthia on the other end. So it would have went Porsha, Angela. Maybe Phaedra could have stayed right there. Yeah, Porsha, Angela, Phaedra. And then it could have been Drew, Shamia, Kelly, and then Cynthia. But Cynthia would have just been a pop in, pop out. Like, she was there for the season. Or maybe Phaedra would have been a pop in and pop out because she came at the end. Right? I don't really want to hear shit Phaedra has to say about episodes that took place before she got there. I don't want to hear your review on it. I only want you to discuss what took place when you arrived. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. They could have swapped that out. Like, I don't think they did a good job with that. And things would have been even if, Brit would have showed up, because she would have been sent on the end, but obviously she didn't show up, so whatever. But I think this seating chart personally is whack. I think this is so whack. I think it's so whack. And knowing how important or how big of a deal us fans make the seating chart, and for y'all to sit Drew at the very end is stupid to me. Like, I don't understand. When Drew, honestly, in my opinion, has given y'all more. And then here's the other part. You whack ass motherfuckers. Let me calm. Scoot back just a little bit. Scoot it back. You people down to the Bravo are funny characters. And I say that because y'all literally I feel like it was disrespect all around. Y'all allowed Shamia to film with Ralph when it was no reason. Obviously, y'all love Porsha down there. Y'all stand for Porsha down there. Because why else would you have Shamia come up with a reason to sit with Ralph only to bring Porsha in? And not only that, and what actually supersedes that, because we saw that before we saw the sit down, That is y'all giving Ralph an opportunity to sit in a confessional on more than one occasion for me. Solo confessional on more than one occasion. That's disrespectful. I about seen Ralph on the show more than Phaedra. Hell, Ralph probably should have sat up there next to Porsha. I don't damn know. But that is so whack. So I don't know what Drew may have done to y'all. I don't know what y'all feeling away about, but it's definitely giving a little bit of the Kenya Moore treatment when y'all was mad when she went off and got married or something. Like, did Drew not let y'all in on something? Did she not let y'all in on some part of her life or something? The divorce? What was it? Because Drew showed us more than Kelly. You got to see her man, her husband, whatever he is this week or next, in a confessional. Y'all got to film with this man and Drew on more than one occasion. Y'all been all in that lady's house. Y'all actually got to get his perspective and hers. But when it came to Kelly, we only got Kelly's perspective. That's all we got. We got another from her publicist and the conversation he had with the ex-husband. We didn't even hear from the man directly. So for y'all to sit her before Drew, tacky as hell. And the way this entire cast kept Drew's name in her mouth, she carried a cute bit of weight for Real Housewives. She carried a cute bit. That's whack as hell. That's disrespectful as fuck. I will hope y'all did not see her on the end because she has been in support of Kenya. Now, Porsha knew how to play it. Porsha got on Breakfast Club. She was like, oh, love the network. Of course, I would like Kenya to be a part of the show, but love the network. You know, you can't do X, Y, Z, ABC and think they not going whatever, okay? Porsha was playing it right. Or I ain't going to say playing it right, but she played it in enough to stay in the good graces of the network. Drew just kept it honest. And then this is the activity that they're getting. So what y'all finna do with Brit now? Clearly y'all not bringing her back because one, she not coming back she not doing a reunion. And two, she put this statement out that really made y'all look dumb as hell along with herself. Saying she just now recently saw the photo. But if you had investigated like you said that you investigated, then you would have been able to show her the photo a long time ago. And even if you did show her the photo a long time ago, and she just now trying to acknowledge because we know that she'll lie, she just now trying to say that she saw it, that's still making y'all look bad. Because y'all allowed this lady to go on and film and y'all all knew what it was. Baby, ain't this something? Baby, the way the people have been dragging Bravo and Miss Bone Thugs and Harmony is crazy. Okay? It's utterly crazy. I can't believe they did that. Sat that lady all the way at the end. Child. I mean, were y'all upset that she made Porsha get up and walk out? Is that what it was? Were y'all mad about that? Like, what was the issue? Why y'all be over there playing favorites like that? Too, as a production company. Why y'all be over there playing favorites like that? Who it is? Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch that in a second. That's crazy. We got to get into more. Girl, it is. Because wrong is wrong. And I'm just telling y'all what y'all good girl said. But the next thing I want to get into, was there anything else? I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to say about the seating chart because I feel like it's so whack. I think that's it. Move Drew up by Shamia. Move Angela over there next to Phaedra. And I think we would have had something. So we shall see. We shall see how this gonna go. And let me tell you something, Drew. You better back them up off you. You be trying to be real demure. And it be funny too, because even when Drew is demure, she still be gathering y'all. Okay? So I love that. But just make sure you back them up off you, okay? And that's just that. Next up, speaking of Drew, what I do want us to get into is this interview that she did over here with the Breakfast Club. All right, I haven't seen it yet. I'm about to listen to it with you guys. I'm gonna play the audio. It is a faster speed. If I need to slow it down, I will just a bit. But I do want us to check out what Miss Sidora had to say. So let's get into it.
Honestly, working on my album was like my therapy. So I think that just being able to get all of those emotions out and just do something productive and put it all on paper and leave it there, that was a big part of my healing journey.
For breaking down for people that don't know what you're talking about, because a lot of people might not watch the Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So she was on Housewives of Atlanta. You recently got a divorce, a separation.
Well, it's not official yet.
A separation.
I'm still going through the process.
Which is a weird separation because he lives in the basement.
Yes.
And you live upstairs.
Yes.
And you're not allowed downstairs.
Yes. And he's been there for.
Oh, well, I saw somebody say Angela and Phaedra are beefing. Well, I will say this. If they are, then Kelly and Angela should have swapped in. To me, I think Kelly and Angela, meaning Phaedra should have got up so Kelly could sit there, basically. And then Phaedra should have sat where Cynthia was. And Cynthia should have just popped in and popped out. Sorry, I'm just not seeing this this super chat. Thank you so much, the Jail Slayer. Am I tripping or was Brit on Bad Girls Club with her old face? Thank you for the super chat. I honestly don't even know. I honestly do not know. She could have been. I don't know. I'm not going to hold y'all.
Yeah, and he's not allowed to come upstairs unless I grant him access. It's just like I've never heard of this. Like I don't know anybody else that I can say, girl, how did you deal with this? You know, I've never heard of this, and I did not know that would ever be something the judge would rule on. So it makes it extra complicated. It's already hard enough. Divorce is already tough enough, but to run into each other in the driveway or you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. You have no idea.
Well, how did it even come to that point though? Who said that this is how it should be? Like, because I've never heard of that. Did he say I want to live and I want to remain in the house? And like, how did that happen?
He was basically like, I'm not leaving. Like his attorneys were like, yeah, he's not going to leave the premises. And so, have you seen the movie World of Roses?
Water Roses.
Thank you. Yeah, right. It's like that in real life. Where it's an asset in the marriage. And so, what I've been learning through this process, like it's love and it's like pure bliss, and we built this beautiful family and we're building legacy. And then all of a sudden we're going through a divorce, and now it's all business. It's like a negotiation of the asset being the house. It's a big deal, And so, I would love to just split everything. Like,
and that I'm glad you said that with the asset being the house. I feel like that's part of the reason why Porsha not leaving out of that house with Simon, because also she wants a portion of that home should it be sold, even though he purchased the home before he married Porsha. So I don't know how that's going to work. But Simon would actually still be in that house, in my opinion, with Porsha if they didn't have that prenup. He had a prenup saying that he would leave the house and let her stay in it for so long or whatever, and he'll take care of everything. But the judge enforced that prenup. But if they didn't have that, they probably would be in a situation like Drew and them. Because I've literally witnessed that with, someone else in Georgia when her husband were like on the outs or whatever, and trying to deal with the whole divorce and everything. He didn't leave until everything was finalized. Like she literally had to still coexist in that home with that raggedy mother. And I feel like that's dangerous to me, in my opinion, especially if you're showing where this person may not be financially taking care of the household, possibly. They might need to get the hell out. Like that, that could be dangerous, but maybe it's different. I don't know. If they don't have any like history of any DV things that has taken place against them, then maybe the judge will let it be what it is. But I feel like people cannot have a criminal history at all, and they could just flip a switch and things just go crazy. So they need to work on that. But anywho,
50-50, keep it simple, we can be done. But he's like, I want everything. I want the house. I want 40% of your business that I've had since 2005. It's my company, And he's coming for that. And it's just.
How did y'all get there, though? What started the separation? People assumed it was cheating. People assumed it was so many different things. How did y'all get there?
Let's go, girl.
I like the show.
I like when you get in your bag. I like when you get your housewife back. I like when you get your housewife back, Daddy. When you be scrambling your housewife back. I like that.
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you know everything. So then you watched it.
Explain to people. So what happened?
Right. So.
He ain't watching. His wife watched. His wife be asking, sending all them questions, telling him what to ask. But I also feel like DJ Envy be trying to make sure he asks so he don't find himself back on their side of the fence where he about to damn near get a divorce. So ask the questions, honey.
So we lived in Chicago. I'm from Chicago originally, born and raised. And we lived there for some time. And it was a lot of women. It was a lot of women. The whole finding things in your phone. Or I got family. Like, it's family. Everybody knows we live here. People seeing you out, sir, at dinner with women. So it was a lot of that.
So you was in his phone?
I did at one point.
Why you so nosy?
Excuse me?
Why can't you let him and his women be?
Wow.
I need to ask you some questions.
You know what?
At first I thought it was because he just don't watch your show, and I'm like, oh no, he's trying to get her.
He being a clown. Aren't you from South Carolina?
Yes, ma'am.
That might be cousins.
Really?
I think so. I think he's from Hughie.
Oh yeah, Hughie right by my corner.
He got a lot of cousins. You remember cousin Courtney on the show?
Oh yeah, he don't.
Good night, Drew. Good night.
Courtney's.
Oh, you didn't see.
So wait, so back. So
Sorry.
that was in Chicago. You found it, but then you moved to Atlanta. You forgave him.
I did. You know, because let me tell you. So my parents were married for 60 years till my dad passed away. So I grew up in a household, you know, where I saw people choose each other every day, fight, make up. You know, that was just what I saw. So that's what I wanted for myself. So when I got married, it was like, this is what we go through. We're going to talk about it, communicate, and move forward. So yes, I did forgive him. We moved to Atlanta, and he left and went to Tampa for 3 days. Everyone saw that on national TV. But it was embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, you leave your family and you don't tell us where you went, and it was more so because it was public, you know, and humiliation and embarrassment. And I think that was tough.
That was the last straw. That was it for you.
I mean, it was that, and it was just the continuous behavior of like dealing with other women, and then coming on the show, and then there was women saying, oh, they were pregnant. It was a particular woman who reached out and said she was pregnant with his baby, and that was a big thing. That was probably one of the biggest straws. And then it was the disrespect of my mom, of my family.
When was this? I've never heard this before. When was this? Was this before the show, or was this during? What the Drew, baby, you too kind. I told y'all, Drew don't fuck shit up enough for me. She just does not. And she really gives like a sweet girl to me. Because for you to sit up there and let this man handle you the way that he does, lock you out the house, do all of this shit, and then you turn around and tell your mom, I think we're doing really good co-parenting. I think we're doing a great job. I think, he's a good, we do good. We do really good. No, you don't. You don't. I'm sorry. If he's not handling you properly, knowing you guys are not together, so you're not dealing with each other physically, but if he's not helping you mentally, that's not, to me, good co-parenting. Because when a person, primarily what I really want to say is a woman, right? When her mental is not right, it can affect how she goes about mothering her kids sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And just really showing up for them. Like, girl, hell no. Girl.
Family, the disrespect of my son Jojo, my 14-year-old. So it was just very layered. And finally, he moved out of the bedroom. So we separated, and we were separated at the time. So it was a huge separation. We were trying to repair things, but ultimately it just wasn't able to be repaired.
And people thought you cheated at one time.
Well, that's what he says. It was almost like, oh, she's hanging out and having fun. Oh, this is my moment, And now it flipped to like a victim mentality when that really wasn't what it was.
And it's Pride Month, so they thought it was a girl.
Oh,
well, they thought that before this month.
Oh.
Yeah, but I heard you talk about it on Carlos King.
Yeah.
And that was my first time actually hearing you explain it the way you did. Yeah. So he alleged that you were dating a woman at the time, and that's who you were cheating with. And you said at the time you were going through so much with him that you would have taken attention from a cardboard box.
Said that.
Please talk about that.
Is it cheating if it's eating?
What do we eat?
What is the matter with you, girl?
I know
just the comic relief of the situation that you need. I mean, I wouldn't say there was eating. We were hanging out. That's still my girl to this day. Like, we're still friends. But I think it was extra sauce placed on it. I will say, okay, flirting, yeah. Like, I'll be honest about that.
Nibble?
A little nibble on some food. We went to dinner.
Oh, okay.
We was eating at the dinner table. But all of the extra stuff, I mean, you have to really watch the show and know who Ralph is. He is very much a narcissist, and that's who I married. That's who I chose to love. But at the end of the day, what happened. People have actually witnessed it, the disrespect. So to say, okay, I'm hanging with this woman, and now it's a relationship, that just came out of nowhere. There was never any evidence. Where's the receipt? Like, people can say things. Doesn't make it true. People say things about you. Is everything true?
Not everything, but a lot of things are true about him.
But listen, how you balance healing in private when your pain is being monetized on reality TV?
Honestly, that time that we did not come right back on the show, I was actually grateful because that was the time I took just to self. Like, I spent my time alone. I just completely shut down, and I did a lot of praying. And like I said, honestly, people may not have understood why I said Dennis was my angel on earth. But really, I was very grateful because it was a blessing at that time to have somewhere to go. A lot of times, like, I didn't want to wake up and get out the bed. It's like, you just don't feel productive. Like, overwhelmed, depression is real. So it was just knowing that I have people supporting me, believing in me, and are rooting for me. And I had to show up, for that. And when I got to the studio, I was like, okay, I made it, and then being able to compile all this body of work and have a productive outlet, like I said, it was exactly what I needed to get me to the other side where I am now.
Looking back, because your project is here, the music is here, but looking back on, you brought up the Dennis Angel on Earth comment, and that the people had conversations about that for a while.
I know. It was crazy.
Look grimy. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. You look shady when it first came out. Because it came out that you were working with Porsha's.
Porsha's Dennis?
Yes.
What other Dennis is out here?
How is that grimy?
It's the shock for me. It's the other shock.
Remember we had a conversation with Porsha about this whole thing? Now this is...
And it was assumed that you did it behind Porsha's back without talking to Porsha. Yeah. But that wasn't true.
That didn't happen like that. See, there we go. See, we got to talk about it. Because that's not how it happened. So, actually, this is during the time Porsha was living her African princess life. You saw what she was in Dubai. She was in Nigeria. She wasn't checking for her girls. I was calling her. So on the record, I called Porsha a bunch of times.
To tell her that you were going to work with Dennis.
Yes. Like, why wouldn't I? Dennis had been reaching out for years, like, come be an ambassador for Naya. It was like, no. But because of what I was going through, this is my selfish season, okay? And the music was good because I was like, Dennis, hot dogs, music? Like, I was confused like everybody else, right? I was. But when he sent my team the music, it was like, this is really good. Like, I need to do this music. That's how it felt for me. So when I was calling her and I was texting her, I have the receipts. show them their reunion. I was like, girl, I need to talk to you. Like, it's really, really important. Bunch of text. She wasn't responding to you, girl, like at all. Crickets. So when she did,
I believe that because she also wasn't really being reactive to Shamia either. Like Porsha was just in this weird space, you know, with dealing with this divorce, and I feel like she could have potentially been depressed because of the embarrassment. You just was talking like a week or two prior to you filing a divorce that love wins and everything is great. Whole time it wasn't. Now you're being forced to like answer questions and stuff and face the things that you weren't trying to face prior to you leaving the show with how you got with that man and stuff. So I can imagine, like, you know, just because I don't like Porsha's actions and how she may handle things doesn't mean that she's not a human person, that she doesn't, you know, have low vibrational moments too. And I'm sure she probably was, you know, low vibrational, but I don't like how she handled Drew as if she was the only person going through a divorce and you needed to explain this to me and da-da-da-da-da. I think she put a lot of weight on other people, and she should have placed that on the people that she needed to place it on, primarily, in my opinion, when it came to Dennis. Now, when it came to Drew doing this whole photo shoot and stuff with the go naked and all of that, that was like, at least talk to Porsha about it. Like, just don't go and do that. You know what I'm saying? Granted, you may have been saving her money from doing a photo shoot, but it's still like not your business in a sense, you know? But if you were hired to be a brand ambassador though, at the same time, I feel like that kind of debunks what I'm saying, because a lot of people are brand ambassadors for different brands or whatever, and they shoot and film how they choose. The goal is to promote your shit, ain't it? So I don't know, I'm about to debunk what I said right there, but yeah, and another thing I want to know is when Drew started to work with Dennis, for me, why would she not? If she was trying to work with her husband and do music, remember they put out like 2 songs or whatnot with her husband, I guess, producing it, because he tries to be so intertwined in her career. And I think that's where she went wrong, by allowing him to be so intertwined in her career, like he was in their marriage. As far as like control and trying to make decisions and stuff. I'm like, why would she not work with Drew if her marriage is fizzling out? Right? He's probably not playing his role as, you know, assisting her with music. And then you got somebody that's presenting an opportunity with you, to you, like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see what it is. I mean, it's better than what I had and what I am doing. So let me just try it and see it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well, at least I can say I tried, because she's tried with other big labels and things haven't worked out. So, I mean, that extraness, I was like, come on, Porsha.
Back and we did talk. We were in the studio. Dennis would be talking to her. And she's like, send me some songs. She's like, oh, this is my favorite song. This is my favorite song. So I'm like, okay, Porsha, you told me you had a conversation, so she's cool. We talked 2 weeks before we started filming. And she was like, yes, girl, I know we're going through our divorces. We need to get together. I love the music. I was like, okay, because, you know, I wanted to make sure, like, we're all family. It's all, yes, girl, I know. Like, it's all good. Let's hang out. A week before we film, oh, sorry, I didn't come to your birthday party, girl. But let's turn up tonight. You, me, and Andy. Let's go out for drink. That was the energy. So we go to Shamia's birthday party. That's why I was so flabbergasted. I had nothing to say.
You said it was a different story.
What's that?
So when the cameras came on, it was a different story.
Exactly. It was like a light switch. It was like, what?
Why didn't Dennis tell her that?
He did.
If you
he said she knew.
Oh, okay.
And she never denied it. But if you notice, when we were at Shamia's party, it was like, I'm mad at you because you're working with Dennis. Then it switched to, well, you're filming with Dennis. And then it was like a go naked thing. So I was not clear on why she was upset and what the real beef was. But as you've seen the season, I just see, you know, the fans are smart. Like, shout out to the fans, because they're seeing like, no, you know, we kind of catching her up in some lies here. That's not actually how it happened. And it's seeming more like deflection, because you can't talk about a certain person. So she chose to talk about me, you know, because she couldn't. And she had said that. She couldn't talk
about
about
it. You feel like she did it for cameras?
You need story. But I mean, you need to have things going on in your personal life. Like, why is everything about what I got going on?
I never understand on this. It's hard to watch sometimes, because you don't know if it's real shade, if it's real smoke.
And can I also say this too? In all honesty, with this whole au pair situation, like, why do we even see an au pair? Like, when the au pair was brought in, a lot of us was confused because we didn't even understand why the hell you need an au pair. Like, you're saying that you're not at home as much, but we're not even really seeing no interaction with you and your daughter and what all you got going on for it to be a need for an au pair. Like, I think Porsha did have other things in her life that was going on that the producers could have lent itself to. But I also think Porsha said that she did film other stuff, but I guess the producers decided not to do it. So, or decided not to use it. So, the producers could have potentially fumbled her storyline as well. Like they fumbled this season. Possibly. Okay, I'm just trying to give Porsha a little piece of an out. She could have gave us some, and the producers probably felt like that wasn't enough, or we're not going to lean into that. We're going to lean into something else. And it also, in my personal, could have been a way for them to get back at her, even though, to me, I feel like they favor Porsha over a lot of the ladies, right? Because they didn't get a chance to really capture her story on Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was able to go to Porsha Family Matters. But it didn't really, you know, it didn't really work out because of how the family responded. But I felt like she thought she would have been able to control the narrative more. And it's just the fact that y'all even gave her that opportunity. But y'all ain't give no other opportunity to Kenya or nothing like that. That's crazy. Y'all gave Nene spinoff, Candy spinoff, Porsha got a spinoff, Kim Zolciak got a spinoff, and it wasn't even, y'all didn't even know for real if the people were gonna tune in or not. And y'all didn't even get that to Candy. Y'all have created and green lit brand new shows without a built-in audience and put them out there and then cancel them after 2 seasons or whatever. And if that's the case, y'all could have did something with Kenya, maybe Kenya and her daughter like she was trying to do, and it probably would have garnered the same amount of views, if not potentially more. And if it only was a one-time thing, cool, because y'all didn't even let Summer House Martha's Vineyard pass beyond 2 years. And you probably spent out more money getting these cast members than you would have got paying Kenya to do this side opportunity or whatever. So, I mean, when I think about the disrespect in my personal, I kind of feel like Kenya, don't go back to that damn show like them people. But then at the same time, regardless, it does have a good audience, right? As far as the views and the people that's watching and stuff, and you have a way to advertise your business without having to pay out so much money to all these other folks. So, I mean, there is a benefit there as well. And yeah, it's a lot of different benefits there, but yeah.
It's just a storyline.
No, everything I do is real. I came on the show in an Achilles rupture boot. Like, I came on the show limping. Like, that's not how I want to come on. I want to come in with my, like, Louboutins, you know, and be fabulous. And I wanted to show black love and marriage and all the beauty and all that. I didn't want to show this. So everything that I've shown has just been my real life. I've not ever produced anything or tried to give storyline because, like, I've been working since I was 8 years old. I don't need to put on for cameras. That's not me. Some people may. Like, that's what some people may do. And I feel like in this situation, instead of Porsha opening up about, like, her real feelings without talking about that particular person, she didn't need to deflect it and make me her punching bag. I think that was probably the most hurtful part because, like, I'm going through a lot too.
Did you have a real conversation? Because it made you look crazy to the public at first when she got on there.
No,
and
the fuck it
You're
didn't.
supposed to be my friend, but you work on my ex.
No, it didn't. It made her look crazy to your wife. That's what you talk about, okay? Maybe to her, but it did not make her look crazy to no damn audience, okay?
Well, I did. Did y'all have a conversation after that?
We did. We had to sit down. It didn't go very
They
well.
ain't the majority.
Which one are you talking about? Because Grenada.
No, well, the sit down when she walked out when we were drinking tea.
Yes.
It escalated.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like true resolve, but yeah, no. It's like Porsha is not the person, as you have seen, that will communicate. You know, she's gonna get up and walk away. She's going to cover with all of this happiness. Like, she got it. And that's not real. And I think everyone was anticipating her to come back this season and was excited. But ultimately she couldn't deliver on the story that we thought we were getting. You know, we thought we were getting Miss Kawadia and she couldn't bring that.
Oh, so you don't think Porsha's been delivering this season? What you're saying?
I mean, that's just what I feel. You know, that's my personal opinion, is that
The
this wasn't a
calm
real
shade
beef.
is
So then what are we talking about? Like, let's talk about something real. You get, you know, 2 women together who are strong, who are bosses in their own right, have a conversation. We're not going to agree on everything, but we don't need to make this the whole thing we're talking about for the whole season. Me and Dennis?
Yeah.
The whole season? I don't talk about that.
That's why I hate reality
I'm
TV.
tired of hearing about that.
That's why in a lot of ways I hate reality TV, because they will monetize your trauma for pain. Like what you might be going through with your divorce or what Porsha might be going through. It's just like, damn, and then if they can't get that, they're just going to pitch y'all against each other?
I don't like it.
What's the point of doing it?
That's how I feel. Like, we're both going through a divorce. We could be talking about that. You know what I mean? And really everything doesn't have to be like a moment. And I think, you know, you see some girls that come on the show and it's just like, I need a moment. Let me just say something to go viral or whatever. And it's like, no, just be yourself. And I think that's also how I've been able to be on now for 4 seasons. And that's just what I've learned, because there's been a lot of cash shakeups. Like, I don't even know how I'm still here, because there's been people that were here, been here for a long time and are no longer here. But what I've learned from the OGs that have poured into me is just be yourself, you know, and the story will tell itself.
So I just want another question. So you're not with her go naked hairline?
I literally was about to ask, so that's not go naked hair.
This right now?
Yes.
No, this looks good. The hair that I was wearing in the sit down where you saw the bangs, that's I wore it in real time, because when you put it through a 1-2 edit, how I made it look great. But in person, y'all saw it, right? That was go naked there.
So are you an ambassador for Go Naked?
No, I have a great vendor. She's melted. We're good.
So you don't like go naked hair, what you're saying?
I mean, it just didn't work for me per se. When you go to bleach blonde it did something that wasn't right.
Would you have said that prior to all this Dennis stuff?
No,
Because I thought
she
you were
wouldn't. I have to
like
be
a
honest.
partnership.
It was.
And at the beginning of the season, you said you thought
Drew and I have said none of that shit about this lady hair, in all honesty, before the fallout happened, because you was still rocking it. You was okay. You was supporting it. Y'all was friends. Girl, that's messy.
you were doing numbers for Go Naked.
I did do numbers. I did do numbers.
Did the
That's
product
why.
change?
Well, I just believe, like, as black women, we support each other, right? If you're my girl, I'm gonna support you. We have a great working relationship. It was fun. You know, it was fun to work with her at that time. And if that's your friend, you're gonna hold your friend down. But it was just when all of this started to happen, it just became corny to me. You know, so I'm like, okay, well now since you're gonna drag me, well, I'm gonna speak my truth then, because the truth is, like, I had your back, but if you don't have my back, now it's fair game.
You think the show?
No, you said, all right, let me be honest about this.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Now
yeah.
okay.
I would rather go naked than to wear that hair again.
You think the show would still be interesting if you and Porsha weren't beefing, or is like tension just part of the paycheck now?
I mean, I came on the show. Let me make it clear because I've been an actress since I was literally like in grade school, right? So I made a decision because I was like, you know what? People know me from this role. They may not like me from this role or that movie.
And I'll say I always wanted her and Megan Good to play sisters or something in a film. Because I always felt like they have the same face structure. They kind of look similar just a little bit. Just a little. Not completely, guys. Just a little. You know, just kind of how I feel like Drew kind of favors Porsha just a little. Like, I feel like, you know, they could play sisters or something in a film.
Whatever I felt going through COVID, it was just an opportunity to be more vulnerable and let the fans really get to know me and see me as a mother and a wife and a friend and a sister. Like I'm so many other things, and I wanted to show that. And so that was the reason for me joining the show. It wasn't to do anything, but just hopefully inspire other people going through what I'm dealing with and connect in that way. So it wasn't to show what is happening. Like that was opposite of what I wanted to represent on this platform. So I've never subscribed to let's do this for a moment, you know, let's do this for storyline. I actually feel like when we used to watch Housewives and when it was nostalgic was because it was a group of women who were really friends. And when you saw them fall out, it was because I'm fighting you because I love you and I know you can be better. You can do so much more. So that was where the beefs came in and they were able to resolve and move forward. And I feel like here, sometimes they just want to like kill you off, you know? They want to just like go below the belt. It's like, dang, like, do you like me or not? Like, what are we building or not? And so that's what I would like to see the show get back to. And I think this season, overall, it was refreshing. It wasn't dark, you know, as some of the fans have said, like they felt like the show was going dark. So I think we're moving towards a more positive place, you know?
I agree with that, but so like if you do an interview like now, you know, you wear a little shady to the go naked hairline.
A little.
A lot shady, right? So,
but I mean, it's your choice if you want to.
Doesn't that kind of put fuel on the fire?
Well, I mean, when you have to wake up and see people dragging you constantly, and I'm the type of person that'll just be like, okay, all right, you know. And after so long, I think now it's like I got to start standing for me because for so long I have protected my husband, I have protected my friends. You know, people don't really hear from Drew too much. I do my job and I go to work. You know, I'm the girl that just works. I have 3 children. I'm going through a divorce, and whether I'm on Housewives or a movie or whatever, I'm just working. But now it's just gotten disrespectful. So it's like, okay, you know, you want to throw your shade? Okay, well, I'm gonna speak my truth.
So
and if it's shady, the truth hurts sometimes. I mean,
So you talking about where?
I will say when Candy was on the show one time, I felt like I can't remember what Drew did to Candy and they ended up casting her for their film, but I didn't like the shade towards Candy Way when I felt like Candy was trying to help out. And I feel like that season was around the time Marlo was on the season, and I feel like Drew felt like she needed to like deliver or do like, you know what I'm saying? The girls are getting shady. I need to get extra shady, like, you know? And I like this season Drew where it's like, I feel like even though she's saying what she learned from the ladies is that just be yourself, I feel like this season to me is the most that I have seen Drew just be herself. And you ain't got to do too much. You can check these ladies in a calm fashion. Like, they really can't take you for real, for real. Everybody has literally made Drew that girl by having an issue with Drew. And the crazy thing is a lot of their issues have been indirect issues, which is insane. Right? But I'm liking how she shows up. Like, just do you. You ain't even got to do too much. You really don't. For the audience to, and let this be a note, I personally feel for Miss Bitty Bitty Bum Bum Eady, I feel like just be yourself. That's all you had to do. And I don't think you were always authentic. And the fans gonna see that. We be seeing through a lot of stuff. So just be you next time you get the opportunity. But I don't see her trying to be on nobody's screen at all, ever, really.
What Porsha said you was having sex with somebody or sleeping with somebody?
she said so many things. It's like, where do you start?
Take it out. What's the guy's name?
The past, present.
Black.
Oh, well, we were talking about her. Oh, she was dating the past, present, but they believed
I think so, Dak. You don't think so? DAK, you don't think so?
But past, present, and you feel yeah.
Got you.
But, so you don't see a resolve for you and this girl at all. You and Porsha. You don't see at all. Because you said you want to see the show get back to, you know, what that was, what it used to be. Women were able to have their arguments, go through it, talk it out, and then they're cool. You know what I mean? You don't ever see you and Porsha like, you know what? Let's just put all this shit behind us because it did get crazy. It did. But all right, we're women. We both bosses. We like.
This has really improved.
I think in certain cases, it's hard to come back from certain things. And just putting out falsities that's like damaging to my character, to me as a person. You know, I have kids, so I just feel like the line has been crossed one too many times. However, I feel like, you know, if there's an opportunity to have a real conversation, it may not happen on camera. I don't know.
I mean, off camera.
I'm really big on like resolution. I'm really big on gaining understanding and like moving forward. So if it is an opportunity that presents itself, I would be open to that. But it hasn't happened, and it's a year now. You know,
how do you
right?
You know, they attack you a lot, right? They attack.
They come for you. The Michael Jordan thing with him being your cousin. Is he your cousin or not?
That was clearly a joke. I'm like, my maiden name is Drew Jordan, but I'm from Chicago, and everybody in Chicago wanted to be related to Michael Jordan. So we actually had the last name Jordan. So we was like, oh yeah, that's.
So you said that growing up. I ain't mad at
yeah, like the whole time, like my brother-in-law's Craig Hodges in real life. So go to the games, it's like, where my cousin at, right? Exactly.
So because it's that, I feel like they come for your outfit. outfits. They be trying to come for. They come for everything.
They
Like,
be
how
killing
you,
your
That's what I'm
fashion.
saying. So I'm just supposed to take it like it's only so much a person can take. Where it's like, hold on, I'm from Chicago. At the end of the day, now when I start firing, it's like, oh my God, Drew, oh she threw some shade. Oh, that's so mean. And it's like, no, this is who I am. This is what happens when you poke the bear over and over and over again. But no, like my mom is on a Facebook group, the Michael Jordan Family Tree, and it's thousands of people in that chat. She's been on there for since I was a little girl trying to connect it. I was like, I found a cousin that I think the niece is related to my friend. And we found it. My mama want to be related. We all want to. So it was clearly a joke.
The joke created so many deep dives.
It
of
wasn't
them trying to figure out
clearly.
the family
It
tree.
seemed like you were being
I
dead
want to ask
ass.
a question about you, Drew. You've been in this game since you were a kid. How do you think Hollywood's perception of you has changed, and how has your own perception of yourself changed?
Oh, good. Well, I feel like on the side of like the theatrical, TV and film, I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. In my career, sometimes I don't reflect enough and like, wow, I've been able to work with some amazing actors and some amazing projects and tell some amazing stories. But the game is like, that's one project that I just feel like the public perceives me in that way, and I can't shake it. And it's like, what decade? Has it been a decade?
Yeah.
Now? I still see the comments to this day, which is saying, okay, this was obviously something really big and a part of the culture. But I did see a hashtag where it was like hashtag cancel the Drew Sidora hate. And I just want to say, can we do that, please? Like, at the end of the day, this has gone on too long. Derwin lied to Drew Sidora. Like, did we not all watch the same show?
You feel like they get carried from there?
Oh, most definitely. Like, I see the comments, I'm like, wow.
Darby
And I've met
was
people
the
that's like,
hoe.
oh, I'm mad at you because you broke up med school. And I'm like, Tia was married, right? Pooch, like, as a whole family. But people were very invested in the show, and I just think that's a perception people have of me, despite all the various roles I played, which is why I did join the show to try to change that narrative. And I think for myself, yes, my perception of self is I have so many things I want to do. I want to do Broadway. I want to direct. I'll produce my first film and continue to open the door for other young talent coming up. And so that's where I'm moving into of my contribution stage in life and wanting to really see others win as well in this business.
I think the thing with the game was right.
And I want to see that too, Drew. I want you to stick to what you said there. I want you to be committed to, if you are trying to open up the door for others to enter that space, I want to see you do that. I don't know if you're going to do that while being on this show or not, but if I ever see you, girl, we're going to talk about that because you need to stay committed. Don't just be saying something and make sure that happens.
Else had fictional names, but you really went on there as Drew Sidora. Like you why was that?
Shout out to Mara Rocket Kill.
Shout out to her. We just had her up here. She was just
Oh
here.
my God, I missed it.
Yesterday we were playing
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love that woman. Actually,
This-
so the story behind
I
that is
think
I
it's a
booked
good
Girlfriends,
question.
did an episode of Girlfriends. And when I went on set, she remembered meeting me, coming to my home because my sister Allison has been my manager since I was like 8 years old. And so she came to the house to meet my sister. My sister was a writer on A-Man Rock Martin, worked from William Morris agency, like OG, right? And so she came to my sister's house to see if she would share her Rolodex because she was moving to Los Angeles to become a producer. And she's like, Drew, when you were 8, you were running around the house talking about, I'm going to be an actress and a singer. And she's like, and you really like stuck with it. And so for that reason, let's talk about some bigger things. So she wrote me in the show, The Game. So that's how it came to be. And it was really like an honor because I'm like, you got to be like A-list, right? To play
Right.
yourself. So to have the opportunity, I was like, wow. And the show.
I asked this the other day. I was wondering. Listen, BIT hyper baby. Listen, the way y'all chew me up about chewing that gum, the way y'all chew me up, like I was gone. Why I took it out? I took it out while I was playing that Kenya V. I say, oh, let me go and get this out because they finna chew me. Y'all chew me harder than I was chewing that gum, baby. You hear me? Okay. I was chewing. It was spearmint. Okay, and I should have experimented with taking that shit out. You understand? But anywho, child, I was wondering, I think we talked about this last week. Like, how did she even get on the show as Drew Sidora? I was like, was she somebody? Like, was she something? So I'm glad that she asked this. I'm glad that she answered this question. So it seems like, I guess her sister was instrumental in that for her to go on the show as Drew Sidora. Like, that's a big deal. Because, I'm sure a lot of people were looking at it like I was looking at it. Like, she must be some important person. Especially the people that work in the entertainment industry were probably like, who is this person? Why did you, they kept their radar on her. Because to go on a show as Drew Sidora, as an artist, like, and that's your real name, like, I think that was so dope. So shout out to her sister for that. And I really love their relationship, being that they're like, 20 years apart? I like that. Shout out to them.
Showcase my music. I think that was one of the first times that people took notice to me as an actual musical artist.
Salute to Mara. Let me ask you, do you ever feel like people underestimate your
Thank
range
God
because
she
they know
moved.
you more from Real Housewives now than like your acting career?
Yeah.
Or your
Honestly,
music career. When they take it
Even on the
serious.
show, that was the narrative on the show when you first came on the show. They were really playing with your IMDb.
Expound on that. Man.
Yeah, I think that you get placed in a box. Just let's say African Americans in the arts as a whole, we get placed in boxes really easily. Stereotype that exists. And for me, joining the show, wanting to show my real life, now it kind of took away from my actual skill, my passion, which is music and acting. So for me, it was important to balance it, which is why in off season I go to LA and really you have to get in people's faces and remind them like, here I am, continuing in my acting classes just to keep showing myself approved because it's always changing. It's extremely competitive, and I think the industry has changed a lot. Where it used to be, and not in all cases, but it is this now, and it exists. They look at numbers too. So you might be, I've had producers, directors say, you were the better actress, but this person had more followers, than you. And so it's a balance now, talent as well as marketing yourself and being more appealing to buyers.
Well,
And I have to say, and I know y'all can listen to the whole interview over there on the Breakfast Club. I have a lot to say. I'm actually enjoying this interview that Drew is doing. That is kind of a good thing for some people that starting out in the acting world and they were able to make a footprint on social media and develop this type of following that people are gonna like look at, follow you or whatever the case is. I just work on your acting, do that a bit more or whatnot. But that's kind of a good thing because I do get tired of seeing all the same faces. I enjoy seeing some new faces, like watching Beyond the Gates, right? Love seeing new faces. I love that for them. But I don't know if they could have chose some people for having a larger following. Now, the people that I looked up from the cast, some of those people, they didn't even have 5,000 followers on Instagram. Maybe they had a larger TikTok following or something, but on Instagram, it wasn't that big. But I love that they give new opportunities to fresh faces because at some point we get tired. But if you got the following to help and you can add that, like, okay, this is what I can also bring to your show. Okay, I can bring viewers because this is what my analytics look like. I mean, I kind of feel like that's a good thing, but then it can be a bad thing if you are a phenomenal actor. Right? If you are amazing, but at this point, I was going to say labels, but it's not labels. It's production companies are thinking about making that money back. So they're going to want, because if you got a larger following, once you make your post, then that's giving marketing that they may not have to pay for because you're going to put that on your social media. They don't have to create another budget or, you know what I'm saying, or extend the budget for marketing or something. So there is somewhat of a benefit in that. Just a little bit, but then it sucks for people that don't have such a large following, but are phenomenal actors and can outact the best of them, So, I don't know. It's kind of a good thing.
Did it to me. Your music is out. And I watched, you said that your music was like your healing when you were going through the divorce because you were in such a dark place.
Yeah.
What song on your album was like, when you hear it now, you get tearful. It takes you there. It's your favorite.
It's two. Definitely I Did It To Me and Love for a Minute with Sierra. Shout out to Sierra Gates. That's a cute song. You ain't need Sierra.
Situation.
We was in the booth. It was very,
Sierra
Sierra
I
Gates.
thought you were talking about Russell Wilson, Sierra. You talking about Sierra Gates.
Baby. That was
She was rapping. That's a lot of people don't know she came in, but it's a very emotional record, and that was the record that actually Dennis and I were in the studio, and it was like really emotional. He was over there crying about Porsha, and I was in there having my moment. But it's an emotional record. But I Did It To Me is very representative of the project because it's about taking accountability, and that's why I love that record because I can sit here and share, with you guys all the things that my ex did, right, that weren't right. But it gets tiring after a while to keep blaming everything on the other person. So for me, it's like, no, I played a part. There were things I could have done better if I'm being honest. And so that's what the song is.
And this is the stuff that he tries to say that she doesn't do, but she clearly does, right? She do. She's taking accountability for even allowing you to play in her face as long as you can do it.
Saying like, look in the mirror. It's not easy to do, but you gotta sometimes look at yourself and say, okay, yeah, I made a mistake here, there, and I could have been better, and then grow from that.
Do you let him know that?
I have. Actually, we've had conversations, before we go to court, because when you go to court, that's when everything blows back up. But we've had conversations where we have stated, we understand our differences now, and I can say, well, I could have done this better, and he has said it, and apologize in some areas. And yeah, like we're humans, and just being more gentle with ourselves and just forgiving each other doesn't erase everything and every pain that we caused. But yeah, we can be honest and say, I wasn't perfect. I can say that.
Okay, but y'all, I'm a little concerned. Because could that potentially be a little piece of reconciliation? I don't know. I do think, I really hope that Drew and Ralph do get to a better place. Sometimes I see Ralph in his videos, I see some stuff with her, and I'm like, dang, I wish he would have just got it right. But, things happen for a reason. Maybe they're not meant to be together. They'll separate or whatnot. I'm starting to think that is the best thing for Drew, which is to operate these streets by herself. Especially when you're learning that somebody is reaching out to you about your man potentially getting them pregnant and you finding stuff. And then over the years, nothing has changed. And a lot of people would say that, coming on a reality show affects relationships. But I feel like Kyle Richards on Real Housewives Beverly Hills said it best when she was like, no, television just amplifies the issues that you already have. And they was already having issues. So, I think it may be best to get him from up under her, especially if he over here trying to get portions of your company and stuff. Girl, let that go. And Drew, I don't even think Drew should get married again, y'all. I'm sorry, I don't. I think one and done is okay. But if you feel like you found that person and you want to get married again for a second time, baby, I really feel like after that second time, if it don't work, just stop. Just stop, girl. Okay, sir, ma'am, just stop. Don't do it no more, okay? Just get rings and Yandy it out. Okay? Yandy and Mendices it out. pretend to be married, and don't nobody give a damn. Okay. Because after that,
what's the most cutthroat part? Is it Hollywood? Is it reality TV or the music?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh man. I mean, I've been able to have a consistent career, like with acting, even though joining the reality show, the way you were saying, Charlamagne, like I've been able to now create a space where I did like 5 movies, last year, and I'm very proud of that. So I feel like the acting world has allowed me back in, so reality or music. I feel like music, because I'm still trying to knock down this wall.
They got you in the box, because they look at you as a reality TV star, and it's taking your talent, because you can sing, so it's taking that talent away.
Yeah, it does, and it's a constant proving, which is fine. Like I never get to a point where I feel like entitled or like I should have certain things. I feel like it's important to keep working on your craft and just do the work, put your head down and do the work. So that way when the opportunity comes, I'm prepared. And that's just really what I've been doing. So even though I haven't knocked down that door, I feel like having a project out is monumental for me. It doing as well as it's doing, almost gold in streams, which is unbelievable to me. Without like a lot of marketing, it's just really grassroots, word of mouth. And now getting out there and performing is next for me. So I'm just still on that journey of like really making it happen for myself in music.
Question, was there ever a moment where you felt like reality TV saved you? And was there ever a time where you felt like it broke you?
Yeah, I would definitely say, because people try to say, okay, reality TV breaks up a lot of marriages and things like that. I can't say I blame my fallout of my marriage on it. I feel like what it did do was escalate it and put a magnifying glass. And it also held us accountable, because, you can fight with your spouse and be like, okay, you know what, I'm not even gonna say nothing. We're just gonna roll past this. Or we're gonna put a Band-Aid, or we're gonna talk about it in private, or not talk about it at all. But when you do it on cameras, now you gotta talk about it. And you have to go into counseling, and they really hold you accountable. So I think for us, it made us more responsible and understanding like this probably isn't meant to be. So I think it saved me from dedicating my life to 20 years in this marriage and then it being over. We both have said that we believe that it wouldn't have lasted.
Really?
Yeah. So I think in that regard, it did save me, to be able to get to this place and find my person, because I think my person is still out there. I'm not jaded or bitter. And then did it break me? Oh yeah. Because I mean, this was my biggest storm. Like depression is real. Mental health is real. Like you never know your breaking points. And I can honestly say, like, I reached that. I completely lost myself. I lost my voice in this marriage, and having it play out on national TV, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming, because you're living it a few times. You're filming it, and then you're watching it. That's like
reliving that trauma.
You relive. Can you imagine that? We relive it in our head.
And an embarrassment, because usually if there's a problem in your marriage, it's at home. But now the whole world has an opinion. The whole world is even a comment, and they don't know what's true or what's not, but they just have an opinion.
And every time I watch your interviews, you're breaking down in the interviews every single time. And I'm wondering, like, why put more stuff out there? Like Michael B. Jordan, have you spoke to him since the Carlos King interview?
Oh my God, that was a question.
That was a big. I'm like, whoa.
Michael B. Jordan.
So in Carlos King's interview, Carlos King asked her who's one of the most famous people she's dated, and she mentioned that she used to date Michael B. Jordan back in the day, and that was everywhere. I'm like, whoa, she just be volunteering the info.
Well, I get asked a question. No, not even a little bit. I'm an open book, and I just try to always remain that way, because I think it's important to talk about your life and open up. I make that choice. I made that choice when I joined reality TV, because I feel like it's important for people to see you as a human being, and I feel like other people can see you as a real person and know, okay, everything's not perfect in my world. I may overspeak or say too much or shade or whatever, but this is who I am, and I'm unapologetically me. But yeah, I was asked the question, so I answered it, and he asked me on a date to go attend the NAACP Awards. It was probably like 2000, maybe 6, when he was like still on the soap operas.
Okay.
And I met his mom and stuff. It was cool. We went out a couple of days. No, there was no like intimacy on the record, but still, he was a very, very sweet guy, very, very sweet, and he's been super successful. But yeah, that's my truth, and it happened.
It's yours to tell.
It happened,
This is my last question. With all the healing that you've gotten, right, and what you know now, if you could go back and whisper something to yourself during the hardest moment of your marriage, what would you say?
The hardest part of my marriage, I think,
Do not cry.
There was a couple of things, but for sure, Ralph moving out of the bedroom, that it felt like abandonment. You know what I mean? It's different to like go sleep separately but him making the decision to move out instead of fighting, because people don't stay married forever without waking up every day and choosing each other. Right. So when the person wakes up and doesn't choose you, yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate
She's
you.
still hurt by that.
Let's get into
She's
your single. We're going to play your single right now. Which one you have?
What's up, Jay?
Ooh. I know, right? I was like, let's wake it up. It's early. After you go through all the heartache and pain, you got to get outside. And so Good Girl, Bad Bitch is my next single.
Good Girl, Bad Bitch.
I love that. I wonder if she found a picture for that.
That's the outside record.
It is. It's my outside record. And that's what the album is. You may cry and fall in love, fall out of love when you're listening to my album. And this particular song is one that's empowering and getting outside with your girls and just living,
All right, well, let's get to it. It's Drew Sidora.
Yes.
It's the Breakfast Club.
That was a good interview. I don't know how y'all felt about it. It was short and sweet, right? It wasn't long, drawn out. It was like a little 30-minute something. I sped it up. And I thought that was a really good, really, really good interview. So shout out to Drew. I think Drew does good interviews, period. And I really like Drew, y'all. I don't understand, like, the hate for her, the dislike for her, I don't know. Like, I don't understand what she does to people that makes them just be like, y'all can't stand her. But she said Keisha said she's supposed to be getting a feature for that. I'm not sure who she gonna get on it. I think she probably should go hit up Cash Doll and see if Cash Doll would be open to doing it, potentially. I don't know who else. I don't know who else. I want her to have somebody that got like a name already versus just going to get somebody else that may be easy to pay or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with you, Dak. I disagree with you. I don't think that she's a liar. If you think she a liar, then what do you think of Porsha? I feel like they could have played more of her songs from the album. You mean on the show? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't finished. Maybe it wasn't finished if that's what you're talking about. I don't get it either. They all lie. We've caught them in lies and discussed it, but somehow Drew is the only one. Come on, somebody. Come on now. Is the only one with the label of liar. Do you hear what it is that I say? Okay. But you know, I like her, you know. She don't bother me. But you know, also I feel like for me, I'm just different. I mean, we all are different, duh. But at the same time, stuff that bothers other people don't really be bothering me either. Like people be so pressed about Phaedra because they still upset with the fact that she said what she said about Candy. And I mean, yeah, it was messed up, but okay, what else is going on? You know? But also, and Phaedra may have come to the front and lied about some other stuff, but it's just like, okay, but y'all sit up there and y'all listen to Heavenly all the time and take what she said as bond. Like, come on, people. You know, so it is what it is, you know. Y'all pick y'all liars to stand by, so I guess I'll pick mine, girl. That's how you feel. Shit. Marielle, thank you so much for the super chat, that flashback. Thank you. You know, I have to cue that up just a little piece from time to time for the people. Okay. But I'm trying to say, I think that may be all that I have at this time, guys. That's really it. You know, before we go, I want everybody to always understand and know that wrong is the wrong. Okay? And the photo that was shown at Kenya's event was the not Bone Thugs and Harmony, aka Bitty Bitty Bum Bum. All right? It was not her. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. I don't know what else to say. But you guys can continue the conversation down below. I thank you all so much for being here. We had over 1,100 people in the chat. So shout out to y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all chose to kick it with your girl this morning. I hope that you guys enjoyed this live. I hope we created some good conversation around everything that's happening with Housewives and Bravo and all of that. And yeah, did y'all see Marlo though? Before we go, I'm gonna tap into her just a second because Marlo has said something on one of these things, and I'm trying to remember what Marlo said. What she said, I'm speechless. So when Bitty Bitty Bum Bum put her post out, Marlo came in the comments and said, I'm speechless with this season, and Kenya with these fake receipts don't surprise me. So now the receipts is fake. Now the receipts is fake, Marlo. Now they're fake, but when you thought they was real, I'm sure you was tap dancing on her shoulders, right? But now you over here siding with this lady and saying Kenya and these fake receipts don't surprise me. But you was about ready to call her to the carpet and say, oh, Kenya, why did you show this? Why did you say that? Why did you da-da-da-da-da? Girl, you are focusing on the wrong thing in my personal. I feel like you need to focus on why Miss Ma'am played victim the entire season, only to come back and say that she just now saw the photo and it was never her. I think you need to focus on that. Okay? So who's when you say lies after lies, I feel like she was giving lies after lies. Okay, Kenya told y'all she was gonna be vindicated, honey. But some people gonna say that this still is not vindication for her, and I understand if that's how you feel. Okay, I completely understand. But let me get the heck up out of here because I got some other stuff to do for the people that are in tune with Love Island USA. I am going to be getting that video up for you guys soon. And I am going to work on uploading my videos after the episode, okay? After the episode, I'm going to try to go ahead and get those videos out. If you are not subscribed or follow me over there on TikTok, follow me over there on TikTok because sometimes I'll go live over there too. And we'll get into the episode. So, yeah, if I don't go live on TikTok, then the video is probably about to drop. Except for on Thursdays, because you know we do the Ooh Ladies First panel on Thursdays, and we may go live around the time that the show is on, so I may not be able to get a video out to you guys or go live that night. But it definitely will be coming. If you're not watching Love Island USA and you got a Peacock app, you have time to get tuned into it. We are only on episode 3. Episode 4 drops tonight. Keep in mind the show drops every night, okay? It drops every night except for one night, and we don't know if that one night is going to be Mondays or Wednesday. But we're going to get an episode every single night up until this coming Monday. So if you have not checked it out, go ahead and check it out. It's kind of like a dating show where these people have to live on the island, find love, and it'd be a whole lot of switch and change and rearranging going on with a little piece of mess. But I enjoy it. I've been reviewing it for years, and we are now in season 7. Okay, but that's all I got. Jami, that's me. You can find me on social media at Jami, that's me. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing, commenting, all of that, and you know your girl is gonna catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand on my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I could face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim, on a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasted film. I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.